I thank everybody concerned inviting me to this August body and the meeting. And I congratulate Dr. Balashankar for his initiation of a noble foundation. This foundation is, in all its dimensions, a new venture, especially in our Kerala situation. I was thinking about its noble status. In the 14th century in India, there was the third Mughal emperor Shah Jahan, and he built Taj Mahal in memory of his wife Mumtaz, and became one of the wonders of the world. Now, we have this foundation greater than Taj Mahal, which is going to be serving the people of the nation and also aiming at very impressive cause. The foundation aims at to find a cessation or to end the criminal politics. There are many widows and orphaned children because of criminal politics in Kerala as well as in all the other parts of India. ഇതുപോലൊരു വലിയ വീക്ഷണം പലപ്പോഴും പത്രങ്ങൾ വായിക്കുമ്പോൾ അവിടെ രാഷ്ട്രീയ കൊലപാതകങ്ങൾ നടക്കുന്നു എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ കൊലപാതകം ചെയ്യപ്പെട്ടവരെക്കുറിച്ച് അല്ല മനുഷ്യ മനസ്സിൽ വരുന്നത്, അവർ മുഖാന്തരം അനാഥരായ സ്ത്രീകളും അവരുടെ മക്കളുമാണ്. And this foundation is having a very great and wonderful vision to seize, to find an end to this disastrous situation which we face in the world, especially in Kerala. We have to have a universal vision, and we have already started by this foundation a universal brotherhood, because I came to know that about 51 people who were, or 51 families in which the criminal politics ended 51 people. They are giving 2,000 rupees per month as pension to them. And it came to my mind a wonderful vision that this pension goes to all people who are slaughtered because of criminal politics, irrespective of caste, creed, or political differences. That is the greatness of this foundation. എല്ലാ രാഷ്ട്രീയത്തിലും വ്യത്യാസമില്ലാതെ ഏത് രീതിയിലും കൊല ചെയ്യപ്പെട്ടവർ, അവരെല്ലാവരെയും ഒരുപോലെ സഹോദരങ്ങളായി കണക്കാക്കുന്ന ഒരു വിശ്വസ്വാഹോദര്യത്തിൻ്റെ വീക്ഷണം ലോകത്തിന് നൽകുന്ന ഒരു ഫൗണ്ടേഷനായി ഇത് ലോകമെങ്ങും വിരാജിക്കുമെന്നുള്ളതിന് യാതൊരു സംശയവുമില്ല. അത്രമാത്രം നല്ല വീക്ഷണത്തോടു കൂടിയാണ് ഇത് തുടങ്ങിയിരിക്കുന്നത്. So let us think what we can do good to others rather than how can we destroy others. ഇന്ന് മനുഷ്യനെ ഉന്മൂലനം ചെയ്യാനുള്ള വ്യഗ്രതയുള്ളതായ കാലഘട്ടത്തിൽ മനുഷ്യന് എന്ത് നന്മ ഒരു ദിവസം നമുക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ സാധിക്കും? നമ്മെപ്പോലെ ഹതഭാഗ്യരായിരിക്കുന്ന അനേകം ആളുകൾ ജീവിക്കുന്ന ഈ ലോകത്തിൽ അവരുടെ വെൽഫെയറിന് വേണ്ടി, അവരുടെ നന്മയ്ക്ക് വേണ്ടി, അവരുടെ വളർച്ചയ്ക്ക് വേണ്ടി എന്തെല്ലാം ചെയ്യാൻ നമുക്ക് കഴിയുമോ അതെല്ലാമാണ് ലോകത്തിൽ ശാശ്വതമായിട്ടുള്ളതും നിലനിൽക്കുന്നതുമായിട്ടും. ഈ ഫൗണ്ടേഷൻ്റെ എയിംസിനെ കുറിച്ച് ഞാൻ വായിച്ചപ്പോൾ മനസ്സിലായത്, they are also planning other works for helping poor and the bereaved families, help patients and families in need, and uphold and promote family values. അത്യാവശ്യമായിരിക്കുന്ന ചില കാര്യങ്ങളാണ്. അവയ്ക്കും കൂടി ഈ ഫൗണ്ടേഷൻ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുന്നു എന്നുള്ളത് കൊണ്ടാണ് ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞത്, താജ്മഹലിനേക്കാൾ വലിയ വീക്ഷണമുള്ള ഒരു ലോകത്തിൻ്റെ മഹാത്ഭുതത്തിൻ്റെ ആരംഭമാണ് ബഹുമാനപ്പെട്ട ബാലശങ്കർ ഇവിടെ കുടിക്കുന്നത് എന്നുള്ളത് വളരെ സന്തോഷമുണ്ട്. എല്ലാവർക്കും അനുഗ്രഹങ്ങൾ ദൈവം തമ്പുരാൻ നൽകട്ടെ. ഇത് പൂർണ്ണ വിജയത്തിലെത്തി ലോകം മുഴുവനും ശാന്തിയും സമാധാനവും ഐകമത്യം ഉണ്ടാകുവാൻ തക്കവണ്ണമുള്ള ഒരു ഫൗണ്ടേഷനായി വളരട്ടെ എന്ന് ആശംസിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് എൻ്റെ വാക്കുകൾ ചുരുക്കുന്നു. ദൈവം നമ്മെ അനുഗ്രഹിക്കട്ടെ.
Thank you for all the valuable words. Dr. Murli Manohar Joshi, former BJP President and former Union Minister for HRD, Science and Technology, informed us his inability to present for the function due medical reasons. Dr. Joshi ji is the chief patron of Mangalam Swaminathan Foundation. Inviting Anita Karnavar to read Dr. Joshi's message on Sarva Mangalam project.
Namaskar. Your Excellency Governor of Kerala, Sri Arif Mohammad Khanji, other honorable dignitaries on the dais, and dear members of the dais. At the outset, I sincerely apologize for not being personally present at this momentous occasion on the inaugural program of Dr. Mangalam Swaminathan Foundation's pension scheme in Thiruvananthapuram. I take this opportunity to extend my heartiest welcome to Sri Arif Mohammad Khan, the Honorable Governor of Kerala, who is a very dear and affectionate friend of mine ever since he entered the political arena as a member of Parliament. He belongs to that rare species of politicians who never compromise their principles for the sake of power. He is a staunch nationalist and, like late Sri Justice M.C. Chagla, is also a fine blend of Muslim faith and Hindu culture. I was indeed very happy to know that Honorable Governor Sri Khan has agreed to bless this unique scheme of giving pension to 51 victim families of political violence in the state of Kerala. My heartiest thanks to him. Brothers and sisters, we are living in strange times when mankind is engulfed by a cult of violence, and every day new hot fault lines are emerging. It appears that the conflict of cultures and civilizations have begun to affect the peace and happiness of human life in a very disturbing manner. But what is most disconcerting is the global push of extremism and exclusivism under the irrational pressure of violence detrimental to the idea of peace and harmony. Such a situation would be a brutal defeat of civilization and should awaken all enlightened minds to create a climate of peace and harmony so that the forces of values of civilizations and cultures can triumph. In this backdrop, when I look to the situation in Kerala, which has a long history of political violence, I feel that the decision of Dr. Mangalam Swaminathan Foundation to award pension to 51 victims of political violence is highly commendable. This is not the place or time to assign blames, but the fact remains that thousands of families have suffered over the past 4 decades because of the cult of violence in the political spectrum. It is for the first time that any foundation has thought of offering some help to the victims' families. This is a highly laudable initiative and deserves full support. I believe that the foundation will be able to expand this scheme to more families. I wish them all success in the endeavor. My memory goes to late Dr. Mangalam, wife of Dr. Balashangkar, who has created this foundation in her memory. Mangalam had a very charming personality, very popular in her office with the journalists and all associates. She was a versatile lady and always ready to help those who were in need. I offer my respectful homage to that wonderful soul who was slashed by the cruel hands of destiny at a time when she was needed most. For the past few years, the foundation, besides other activities, has been distributing 5 National Excellence Awards every year to 5 different categories of journalists. I extend my best wishes and blessings on this occasion. I once again offer my thanks to the Honorable Governor for this valuable guidance and blessings. Thank you.
Inviting Shri Rajashekharan Nair, Chairman and Managing Director, UDS Group, for Presidential Address.
നമസ്തേ. വേദിയിലും സദസ്സിലിരിക്കുന്ന മഹാൻ വ്യക്തിത്വങ്ങളെ, ഗുരുതുല്യരായിട്ടുള്ള സഹോദരി സഹോദരന്മാരെ, ബാലശങ്കർജി ഞാൻ പരിചയപ്പെട്ടിട്ട് കുറച്ച് 4-5 വർഷമായുള്ളൂ. പക്ഷേ നേരിൽ കണ്ടിട്ട് 3 വർഷമായി. ആ മഹാൻ വ്യക്തിത്വം ഒരിക്കൽ കണ്ടാൽ ഒരു ശുദ്ധനായ മനുഷ്യൻ എങ്ങനെയാണെന്ന് ഒരു മോഡലാണ് ബാലശങ്കർജി. അങ്ങനെ കുറച്ച് ഫ്രണ്ട്സ് മാത്രമേ എനിക്കുള്ളൂ എങ്കിലും അതിലങ്ങനെ ഒരു ഫ്രണ്ട്സ് ആവാൻ സാധിച്ചു. ഈ ചാരിറ്റി ഡൽഹിയിൽ വെച്ചായിരുന്നു അദ്ദേഹം നടത്തിയിരുന്നത്. കുറച്ച് ദിവസം മുമ്പ് എന്നെ വിളിച്ച് ട്രിവാൻഡ്രത്ത് വെച്ച് നടത്താമോ എന്ന് കേട്ടപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ സന്തോഷമായിട്ട് അത് ഏറ്റെടുക്കുകയും അത് ഭംഗിയായി ഇവിടെ നടത്തുവാൻ സാധിച്ചത് ഇവിടെ വന്നിരിക്കുന്നതായിട്ടുള്ള മഹാൻ വ്യക്തികളാണ്. ഈ വ്യക്തികളെല്ലാം ഓരോരോ പ്രസ്ഥാനങ്ങളാണ്. അതിൽ വളരെ നന്ദിയുണ്ട്. അതുപോലെ ബാലശങ്കർജിക്ക് ഈ ചാരിറ്റി നടത്തുവാൻ, അതിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമാവാൻ എനിക്കും സാധിച്ചതിൽ വളരെ സന്തോഷമുണ്ട്. എല്ലാവർക്കും നന്ദി, നമസ്തേ.
Next is launching of the Sarva Mangalam pension scheme. Now, distribution of pension checks to beneficiaries. Requesting Honorable Governor of Kerala, His Excellency Arif Mohammad Khan, to hand over the checks. ആദ്യം പ്രീത KP, പനയന്നൂർ, തലശ്ശേരി. അടുത്തത് കെ പങ്കജാക്ഷി, കണ്ണൂർ. നെക്സ്റ്റ് ബേബി എം സി, തലശ്ശേരി, കണ്ണൂർ. കെ കെ രമാദേവി, രമാവതി, കണ്ണൂർ. ടി വസന്തി, തരൂർ, പാലക്കാട്. എസ് സരിത, കഞ്ചിക്കോട് വെസ്റ്റ്, പാലക്കാട്. കെ സുനീത, പാലക്കാട്. വി എൻ സിന്ധു, ചേർത്തല, ആലപ്പുഴ. ഡി ഭുവനേശ്വരൻ, പുന്നപ്ര, ആലപ്പുഴ. പി ബേബി, മുരുക്കുംപുഴ, തിരുവനന്തപുരം. രമേശ് ആർ, പുതുശ്ശേരി, പാലക്കാട്. പി കെ പ്രസീത, തലശ്ശേരി, കണ്ണൂർ. എസ് രാമചന്ദ്രൻ, തൊടുപുഴ, ഇടുക്കി. എൻ സദാശിവൻ നായർ, മങ്കൊം, കുട്ടനാട്, ആലപ്പുഴ. പി ആർ നരേന്ദ്രൻ, ചെങ്ങന്നൂർ, ആലപ്പുഴ. എൻ വിജയൻ, തുറവൂർ, ചേർത്തല, ആലപ്പുഴ. കെ പുരുഷൻ, തുറവൂർ, ചേർത്തല, ആലപ്പുഴ. കെ ദാസപ്പൻ, വയലാർ, ചേർത്തല, ആലപ്പുഴ. കെ എ രഘുവരൻ, തുറവൂർ, ചേർത്തല, ആലപ്പുഴ. പി സഹദേവൻ, അവലംകുന്ന്, ആലപ്പുഴ. ദാസപ്പൻ മാറിപ്പോയി. അത് കുഴപ്പമില്ല. ഇപ്പോൾ പെൻഷൻ സ്കീമിൽ Thank you, sir. Hope this humble endeavor, a small startup by Dr. Mangalam Swaminathan Foundation, will promote harmony, peace, and togetherness. May I invite our Honorable Chief Guest, His Excellency Shri Arif Mohammad Khan, Governor of Kerala, to address the gathering with his inaugural speech.
ये आपने ये दिया हाँ His Holiness Basilios Bartholomew Matthew III, Catholicos of the East and Malankara Metropolitan Malankara Orthodox Syrian Church, Shri R.K. Sinha ji, माननीय पूर्व संसद सदस्य and chairman of Security and Intelligence Services, माननीय Dr. Mahesh Chand Sharma ji, former member of Rajya Sabha and director एकात्म मानव दर्शन अनुसंधान एंड विकास प्रतिष्ठान, श्री C.H. मुस्तफ़ा मौलवी, इस्लामिक स्कॉलर एंड ऑथर, श्री शाहजन इस्कारिया, मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर कम चीफ एडिटर, मरुनादन मलयाली, श्री चेंगल एस राजशेखरन नायर, डायरेक्टर जनम टीवी, श्री सुरेश जैन, ऑर्गेनाइजिंग सेक्रेटरी भारत विकास परिषद, प्रियपेटा सहोदरी सहोदरन मारे एल्लावर्कुम एंटे वंदनम. First, I must express my deep gratitude to Dr. R. Balashankar, Chairman of Dr. M.S. Foundation, for his kind invitation and giving me this opportunity to share these moments with you when you have taken a great initiative, absolutely innovative idea, but need of the hour. You have decided to become some sort of help to those who have lost their near and dear ones. They have fallen victim to violence which happened because of political reasons. And I am absolutely delighted to be part of this program and can't thank Balashankar ji enough for his kindness to invite me here. And I would also like to compliment Dr. Mangalam Swaminathan Foundation for taking this initiative. I am informed that this foundation has been established to keep the memory of Dr. Mangalam Swaminathan, celebrated journalist, writer, academic, and lover of arts, literature, and culture. And she was life partner of Dr. Balashankar. And I'm very happy to see that the foundation works, particularly in those areas where Dr. Swaminathan was passionately involved at the time of her untimely death in October 2017. This is a very special occasion. I have come with a prepared speech, but instead of reading that speech, I want to the thoughts which came to my mind when I came here. I want to share those thoughts with you. Never forget that the highest value or goal which Indian tradition has placed before us, you can say it comes from Sanatan tradition, is integration of personality. That is the highest goal for mankind which Sanatan tradition has established. Integration of personality, which reconciles an individual to her own self, fellow beings, and the Supreme Being. And for this purpose, no particular mode has been prescribed. In fact, the tradition is so liberal that it allows the individual to adopt a mode of approach which is suitable to one's own genius. And in this atmosphere, even lower modes of approach become refined. Uttam sahaj avastha, dittiye dhyan dharna, tirtiye pritima puja, home yatra chaturthe. Or as Swami Vivekananda said, Ruchinam vechitriya driju kutil nana padjusham, nirna meko gamyas tomsi paisa marnav a. The destination has been identified. The goal has been identified. But you are free to take any road to reach that goal. And Indian tradition, this is very important in the context of the political violence. Indian tradition has never viewed an individual in terms of alienable and variable characteristics like color of the skin, language which one speaks, mode of worship that also includes freedom of conscience. You are free to pursue whatever you believe in. You have every right to try to win over people to your side. But Indian tradition has viewed a person in terms of inalienable and invariable characteristic, that is Atma. Aham Brahmasmi Tattvamasi. Once I come to believe in it and train my mind to accept it, I will have no option but to recognize and acknowledge human dignity. And human dignity means freedom and liberty to pursue, to raise your hand to the point where it does not hit the nose of the other person. This is what Indian tradition says. And I do not know what kind of idea now we have developed about politics. The old Indian worldview, traditional, ancient, which has come down to us from our thought leaders, the rishis and munis, our ancient scriptures, Politics does not mean pursuit of selfish ends. Politics does not mean self-aggrandizement. Politics does not mean rat race for positions and power. The Indian tradition says, Sarve Tyaga Raj Dharmeshu Drishta. Sarve Diksha Raj Dharmeshu Yukta. Sarve Vidya Raj Dharmeshu Chokta. Sarve Loka Raj Dharmeshu Pirvishta. To be in politics means you should have the capacity and willingness to make any sacrifice. Unless you have that mindset to sacrifice your own interest for the Virat Purush, you don't deserve to be in politics. And one who is in politics must be equipped with all good sanskar, diksha, and must have command over knowledge of as much knowledge as possible. No one can have total command over the total knowledge, but as much knowledge as it is possible for an individual to pursue tapa swadhyaya nirittam. And then this person must develop the ability to look at people. What we say, samdrishti, no discrimination on any basis, because our culture is not defined by any exclusive, by a definition which is based on exclusive paradigms. It is all inclusive. And it is reflected the way we have conducted our business after independence. We are possibly the only democracy in the world who started with universal franchise. In oldest democracy, the democracies which came later, women had to struggle not for decades, for centuries to get the voting right. Why? Because till hardly about 200 years, 150 years, the general belief in Europe was that women do not have soul. Black people do not have the soul. And one who does not have soul, I have a right to exploit that one. But India, why India started? We might not have been in that sense as the democracy is practiced today. But the democracy in ancient India was being practiced through the institution of panchayats, village assemblies. In fact, till the advent of the British, even till the Mughal period came to end, most of the rural areas were outside the influence of the government which was operating from Delhi. That also explains why, despite very difficult times, tumultuous times we have gone through, we were able to save our culture, our civilization. In fact, if you want to measure how civilized a people are, then you have to look the discipline which they impose on themselves, obedience of the unenforceable. I shall not do this thing. Why I shall not do? Not because police will take action against me. No. I shall not do because my morality does not allow it. My values do not allow it. Therefore, I shall not do this. obedience of the unenforceable. These rules are not enforced by the law establishment, but voluntarily one imposes these rules on oneself. And that is why I refer to the ancient Indian concept of politics. I was so surprised only recently. And I'm not saying to criticize somebody, no. I feel deep sympathy for the person who made that statement. Some time back there was some violent incident in Kerala Assembly. Recently, on the order of the Honorable High Court, the cases, High Court asked that cases should be proceeded. In that context, a senior leader made the statement, this is not a crime, whatever happened there was because of politics. So the argument is that you can commit crimes in the name of politics and then nobody will take cognizance of it. Nobody should take cognizance of it. This is a very strange argument. And this only shows, betrays our ignorance about our own traditions. Be you ever so high, the law is above you. You may be in any position. You may be very powerful, but you are not more powerful than the law. And this spirit that I share, every one of us, there are so many things which we have the opportunity, we don't do it. Why? Because that moral demand, and in our tradition, the people who stand for this, who become symbol of it, who become icon of it, they have been described as Dheer Purush. Dheer Purush does not mean only men. It includes women. That was the old way of describing things. Therefore, nobody should mistake it. There is a small line from one Upanishad. Atmana vindate viryam. It is the moral force which gives you strength. The strength does not come because you have money. The strength does not come because you have more physical prowess. Even great wrestlers, after some time they reach certain age, they also become weak. That is not permanent. The real strength, Indian tradition tells us, comes from what is called Naitik Bal, Yog Bal. Atmana vindate viryam. And Bhartari Hari had said it so beautifully. He said, Nindantu niti nupun yadiva istuvantu. Lakshmi samavistu gachatu va yatheshtam. Adya deva va maranamastu yugantareva. Nyay yat patat pirvi chalanti padam nadhira. Let people who are competent, niti nipun, who understand things, who understand justice, who understand policies. I do not care if they criticize me or they support me. I do not care whether riches stay in my home or they go away. I do not care whether I die today itself or I live for ages. But one who is committed to justice, who is committed to good conduct, he never stays from the path of goodness. That is what Indian tradition says. Here, Human lives are being lost, precious human lives. Now ask any one of these people who have received the checks today. I do not think any member of their family would have contested even for some local election. Then why they should become fuel? Why should they become victims? It only shows one thing. If I use the words of Dr. Radhakrishnan, it is betrayal of democracy. It is betrayal of culture. It is betrayal of humanity. The moment you try to take law in your own hands, in order to achieve your political goals, you sacrifice, you do not feel any compunction in taking human life, then this is betrayal of everything that is good. And you have, it is not merely a question, Balaji, it is not only a question of helping these families, but I am sure that this will create new awareness in the society. The pressure tech, there is no doubt that political ideologies, certain ideologies, they allow, there is legitimacy to use violence. But in India, we are a democracy. And I will request you to think about it. Now, we have documents, studies available which give us information about prehistoric times. The historic times, everything is documented. Even if you look at the history of last 200 years, 100 years, even 100 years, many great revolutions happened in the world. But look at this situation, that revolutions which happened through the instrumentality of violence, they did not last even 7 or 8 decades. They collapsed under their own weight. What survives? Any change which you bring by using force or compulsion will not survive. It has been proved beyond any doubt. Still, you are clinging. If some people try to cling to that old mindset, you can only sympathize with them. I don't feel like criticizing them. I feel sympathy for them. They are not realizing. Any change anywhere in the world you see, if the instrumentality of violence has been used, that does not last long. What lasts long? When you appeal to the mind and heart. When you appeal to the noble angels, Deviye and Asuri, these forces are present in every individual. When you make an impact on the Devic nature of man, divine nature of man, and when the transformation happens as a result of that appeal, that lasts very long. As I said earlier, the Indian tradition, God is not somewhere up there. Atmam sarveshu bhuteshu bhutatmanam kirtalayam archayit man danabhyam maitri abhinain chakshusha. Manav seva hi madhav seva. See me. You Now this is a famous dialogue, Kapil Muni and his mother, Devahuti. And there, in this dialogue, this particular shlok is so beautiful. The whole dialogue is beautiful, but this is so beautiful. Where after realizing the truth, he develops hunger for sharing that knowledge with somebody. The only person he could find nearby was his own mother. He asked her, asked her to come near him and sit down. And there he says that if you respect every being, that amounts to worship of God. If you play some role in meeting the needs of the people, necessary, essential needs of the people, that amounts to worship of God. When you look at everybody with a feeling of friendship and without discrimination, Maitri Abhinain Chakshusha, that amounts to worship. So the Indian tradition asks us to view everybody as God. He has to, that every person has to live. Everybody has to die someday. Nobody is permanent. But you are soiling your hands. You are becoming responsible with his death, for his death. The Indian tradition tells you, samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishthantam parmeshwaram. See in everybody. Brahma is dwelling in everybody. But it has become so easy to kill anybody. It is absolutely essential to raise awareness about it, particularly in a society like Kerala, whose distinguishing mark is, not so much in Kerala, outside, everywhere I say, that Kerala is one society which can be described as a compassionate society, possibly because this has been a matriarchal society. This has been a women-dominated society. Therefore, here people care for each other. They have a compassionate outlook. If they find somebody in distress on the road, they rush to help him. But unfortunately, when it comes to politics, people do not react in a manner, because to a society like Kerala, 100% literacy, women in the lead role, providing medical help to not just to the whole country, but almost the whole world. And what great reputation Keralites have. Whether it is in Gulf, it is in America, it is in Canada, it is in Europe. Last year, Mahesh Bhai, in Canada and USA both, the best nursing award was won by 2 Kerala girls. And I attended both the functions. And then this thing that people talk about, when I say all this, then people ask me, then why there is so much political violence? Then I have to explain to them, it is not all over Kerala. It is only in certain parts of Kerala. But it may be, even if it happens in a village, we must react to it. And how much time I have already taken? Already? I'm concluding. Sorry, I've taken more time. But I would like to conclude with, before that I will take 2 more minutes. In Muslim tradition, Islamic tradition. It has been asserted. And it is not that this is the order which we are giving to the Muslims, no. Katabna ala Bani Israila. This is what we, Bani Israel, the believers in Bible. So it may include both Jews and the Christians. So believers are being reminded that this is not something new we are telling you. It is already has been given as law. And what is that? If you kill one person without reason, without legal justification, then it amounts to killing the entire humanity. And if you save one person, then it amounts to saving the whole humanity. So every religious tradition highlights the need to appreciate the dignity of mankind as وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا Bani Adama. Man, human beings as human beings are entitled to dignity. And even United Nations Declaration of Human Rights says that dignity of mankind is the source of all basic fundamental rights. So every tradition asks us to see God in man, to respect everybody, every being. Not just today we have this environmental crisis, not just human beings. Even the environment we have to be careful. So I would like, once again, I thank you very much for your invitation. I compliment you for taking this great initiative. And I would like to conclude with 3 words said by great poet, Malayalam poet, Shri P. Keshava Deva. He said, Kolla rota, aniya kolla rota. Do not kill. My dear, do not kill anybody. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Jai Hind. Valle Nanni.
Thank you, His Excellency. Thank you, sir, for the inspiring words. All of you, please stand up for National Anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
ഒരു പ്രത്യേക അറിയിപ്പ്. ഡോക്ടർ മംഗളം സ്വാമിനാഥൻ ഫൗണ്ടേഷൻ്റെ പെൻഷൻ സ്കീമിൽ അംഗങ്ങളായ എല്ലാവരോടും ഒരിക്കൽ കൂടി സ്റ്റേജിലേക്ക് വരുവാൻ അഭ്യർത്ഥിക്കുന്നു.